Welcome back, fellow card fighters. Today is another beautiful day of making deck profiles. I've been gone for like roughly 2 years, so what better way to start from aside from making a deck profile on one of my favorite collaboration set. So without further ado, let's get started with the Yoh Asakura deck profile. Cue the intro. So let's start with our right line deck. First is our grade 0, generic, when right upon if you go second, draw a card. Second, grade 1, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle by writing Yoh Asakura, search your deck up for one legendary Midamaru, call it to the back row rear center and shuffle your deck. Grade 2, when this unit is boosted with the Midamaru on his name, counterblast 1, draw a card, gains 5,000 until end of battle, and during your turn this gains power 2,000. And last but not least is our grade 3 Yoh Asakura. Essentially, X skill, put a rear guard with a Midamaru's card name into the soul, you can draw a card and the Vanguard gains a skill of all your front row gains plus 5,000 until end of the turn. Second skill is when this unit attacks, if you have 4 or more cards in the damage zone, you can counterblast 1 and it gains additional crit until end of the battle. Keep in mind, this is not once per turn, meaning you can do 2 counterblasts to gain 2 crits instead of just 1. Now let's move on to the main deck. In the grade 3 line, I'm using only a playset of Spirit of the Sword, Yoh Asakura. Skill states that this can only ride on top of a grade 3 Yoh Asakura and its card name. When this unit is placed on a Vanguard circle, this unit gains 10,000 plus 1 crit until end of the turn. And to get the Oversoul state, you have to put a rear guard with the Midamaru and his card name into your soul. And in exchange, you get 10,000 to your entire front row until end of the turn. And when this unit will attack, it battles all of your opponent's unit in a column. Now moving on to the grade 2 line of this deck. I run 1 copy of Tathagata, I don't know how to say it correctly. You play this card if you have a unit with Yoh Asakura in its card name, and if you have a rear guard with Midamaru in its card name. You choose one of your Vanguard Yoh Asakura and give it 10,000 until end of the turn. If you do not have a rear guard with a Midamaru in its card name, however, you get to choose a card with a Midamaru's card name from the drop zone and call it to the rear guard. The main purpose of this card is so that your Vanguard gains 10,000. You will always have a Midamaru card in your hand or in your rear guard circle, because there's so many cards of that in your deck. So this is the other grade 2 order that I run in my deck. Knock you straight down to hell. You play this card if you have an Ana Kiyoyama in its card name. You get to choose 2 of your opponent's units and reduce their original power to 0 until end of turn. And the next card I run a playset of is Let's Just Take It Easy, Yoh Asakura. Skill is that when this unit attacks, it gains 2,000 for every card in your damage zone. And when it's being attacked, you can Soul Blast 1, and until end of that battle, this unit cannot get hit, aka cannot retire. And the next card up I play 2 copies of is I'll Sacrifice These Legs for Her Sake, Faust the 8th. When you play this unit onto the rear guard from hand, and then you have a Vanguard named Yoh Asakura or Wooden Sword View, you get to counterblast, choose a Shaman with a grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from your drop and call to the rear guard circle. The main purpose of Faust is so that I can securely call out Ana onto the field if I don't have her in my hand. However, if I have her in the drop zone because I discarded her to write up the grade, or if I had healed her from the damage zone, because Ana is like the key component that helps you secure your games near the end game. Now let's talk about Goddess of Victory, Ana Kirama. Her skill essentially states that if she's in the back row rear guard center behind the Vanguard and you have a Vanguard named Yoh Asakura, if the attack does not hit, counterblast 1, rest this unit, and your Vanguard gets to restand minus 1 drive check. Now the next card up in our grade 2 lineup will be Choco Love, or I guess the PC version of it is now Jocko. Becoming the world's top comedian Jocko. When this unit is placed on a rear guard, your opponent cannot intercept until end of the turn. Then you can Soul Blast 2 to search up to 1 Jaguar Mech, call to the rear guard in the same column as this unit, and then you shuffle your deck. Might as well move on to the grade 1 lineup through this deck. Jaguar Mech, Auto, Rearguard Circle. When this unit boosts, this gains plus 2000 until end of the battle. If it's boosting Jocko, however, it gains 5000 instead, and your opponent must choose 3 cards from their hand and reveal it to you. Nice. Keep in mind, Jaguar Mech has 0 crit, meaning that he cannot hit your opponent's Vanguard. So this essentially makes a power column when you have Jaguar Mech and Jocko in the same column. That will be a 23k beat stick column, and you force your opponent to reveal 3 cards from their hand, which is kind of nice. Now moving on to that one card everyone needs to play. It is the Elementaria Sanctitude. Essentially, it counts as a PG. It's a free PG if your opponent does triple drive. So Messiah, Chrono Jet, or any of the grade 4s in its current standards that does triple drive. And then of course you got to run 3 more PG. This is generic PG from the Shaman King set that, you know, is pretty generic. And next in our grade 1 lineup is of course Amidamaru, the legendary samurai. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Yoh Asakura, this gains 5000 power, and if it's in oversoul state, it gains a crit, meaning that he can actually do damage. Now let's get started with the trigger lineup for this deck. Of course, we're playing this one copy of a beautiful card called the Close Pair Under the Moonlit Night. It has additional effect, aka when you reveal it in drive check, you deal 1 damage to your opponent's Vanguard. And also it is something called the trigger order, meaning you can use it as an order during your turn. If your Vanguard is in an oversoul state, you can board wipe your opponent's rear guard. However, keep in mind that the Shaman King over triggers do not have any defense value. It doesn't have that 50k that other over triggers have. So that's like the balance of it. Followed by, we run 3 copies of the draw trigger with effect, aka it gains plus 5000 if your opponent's a grade 3 or greater. Followed by, we use 3 generic draw trigger with the Amidamaru in its card name, because a lot of our skills revolve with Amidamaru. Then we run 1 copy of Sealed Ultra Senji Ryaketsu, aka the crit with the skill. You boost it, goes to soul, give a unit 2000. Then of course we're running 4 copies of crit Amidamaru for obvious reasons, and then 4 heal trigger with the Amidamaru card name for obvious reasons. And that's about it for like deck profile, so please consider hitting like, subscribe, and if you want to find out about some combos, stick around. Okay, so here's the first combo you can do. As your grade 2, you have 1 counterblast available. So when your Vanguard attacks, you counterblast 1, and then you get to draw 1 card. At the same time, gain 5000, and its continuous skill gives you 2000. And your Amidamaru's own skill gains 5000, making this entire column a 30k column when it attacks. Here's another combo that you can try to pull off. When you're grade 3 for the first turn, and you have 4 cards in your damage zone, this is a combo that you can pull off. 1 column, it's a beat stick, and this is your ideal Jocko column that you can do. Put the Amidamaru into your soul for your Vanguard skill, which gives it draw a card, and your entire front row 5000 all across. Then you play Ana onto the field. So when your Vanguard attacks, you can use Yoh's skill by using Counterblast 1 to gain 1 crit. So here's that 1 crit that we're talking about. So this will be an 18k 2 crit attack situation. Your opponent PGs it, well, too bad. Counterblast 1, rest Ana, restun the Yoh. You lose that crit for that one skill you used. However, you can counterblast again to gain that crit again, making it to an 18k 2 crit once more. And ideally, you will stack all your triggers onto your Vanguard, so we'll have ideally like 3+ crits. Now this combo is your ideal finisher move situation. Upon riding, your Vanguard gains 10k and extra crit until the end of the turn. Now you would want to put an Amidamaru onto the field so you can put it into the soul. But before you do, you play Tathagata, which will then allow your Vanguard to gain 10,000 since you have Amidamaru and Yoh Asakura Vanguard. Now, since you have in the rear guard, you're good. You put it into the soul, then your Vanguard skill will give the entire front row 10,000. So this is a nice little attack situation you got going on. Now Vanguard swings, it would be at 43,000 with 2 crits, keep in mind. So if your opponent PGs it, oh well, again, Ana's skill kicks in, counterblast, rest Ana, your Vanguard restands to swing again. But keep in mind, it's -1 drive. And it attacks the column, not just the Vanguard. Now let's say you don't have Ana onto the field. You have one in the drop zone, and this is your hand. You don't have Ana at all. But you have Dr. Faust. You play Faust, counterblast 1, ironically the Ana, to call Ana from the drop zone to set your board up. So now you have Ana for your finisher combo. And let us not forget the last combo that you can pull off with Ana. So with the knock you straight to hell, you can chain it off with Ana in the Guardian Circle, which is like a 5,000 shield, and you can play this Blitz order, which then you can choose 2 of your opponent's unit and make their original power into 0. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This concludes it. Hit that like, subscribe, and comment below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.